COE champion over everything.
Champion over everything.
Hey, what's going on, champions? Welcome to another episode of COE Champion Over Everything. Man, I have with me a friend of mine. We knew each other in college. We've known each other for a number of years. And man, this has been another one of those podcasts that has been at least a year in the making. But you know, everything is by God's design. So this morning or this afternoon, I have with me Shavaya Harlson, who is a personal physical assistant. I may have got that wrong in how I worded it,
Okay.
but that's
You
one
put
of
it all
her.
together.
Look, that's one of her many roles. But she's also the founder and owner of New Normal Wellness LLC. What's going on, my friend? How you doing today?
I am blessed. I am so thankful that you just allowed me to come on to just tell my testimony. I feel like I'll give us tests in order to do that. So such a blessing to be here. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you. And as we start off every show, we just put you on the podium, you know, where you can share your champion story. So, my friend, the podium is now yours.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Well, my story, my champion story started out in 2013. So I was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama at the time, and working as a kinesiotherapist. I'm doing fine. I was there, of course, by myself, no family around me. I decided to take that leap of faith and move to Tuscaloosa and work for the VA there. Was there for about almost 4 years, and during that time there was a time span where I was just overwhelmed with my job. I took on a lot of roles on my job, and I was a yes person. Yeah, I do it. Yes, I will do it. I will be that committee chair. I will be that person of a part of this committee and be over the head of that committee. Just wearing myself thin. And I'm not sure if you remember, in college I was very quiet in nature. Didn't say much.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. So that continued to go into my adulthood, being in Tuscaloosa. Very quiet nature. Didn't know how to speak up for myself. So during that time, I started feeling different. Couldn't identify what it was, but I just knew it was different. My thoughts became fuzzy. My body just became tired. Started having negative thoughts, but still tried to work. I was at the job every day trying to work, even though it took me what one person would take 1 or 2 minutes to do a note. It took me about an hour to do a note. That's how fuzzy my head was. Yeah. So me being a quiet natured person, I didn't say anything. I still tried to, muscle through it. But as I continued to muscle through it, it started to spiral, you know. Started losing weight, started staying up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, not sleeping, but still having to go to work. Just those negative thoughts start coming in. And, there were times where I would just lay in the middle of the floor and cry because I didn't know what was going on with me. It was something different I never understood. And even during that time, I was asking the Lord, like, what is this, Lord? Please help me. I don't know what this is. And, writing scriptures on index cards, putting them everywhere, trying to do my best to try to get out of that funk, you know. But it continued to spiral, you know. And one thing about good friends, when you go to them, they'll know how to go to your family. So, so basically, my best friends, they, of course, I was, talking to them about it. Like, I don't know what's happening. I just need help, but I don't want to tell, my mom, and I don't want to tell my family because I don't know what would happen. So they told my family. So it was one day where I was coming home from work. No, I had just left I did start counseling then. I just left the counselor, and I came home from work, and my neighbor was sitting outside, and he said, "Hey, your family is here." And I was like, "Oh, okay." How you know my family? But okay,
Yeah.
But he was like, "No, your family, your mama is here." And I turned around. My mom and my aunt, they was walking to my apartment, and I just dropped my head and just started crying. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't believe this, But during that time, they saw how serious it was. Like, the depression took to where, like, I just didn't want to do anything. I just want to stay in bed, don't want to do nothing, And they decided on my behalf to take me home. So I end up leaving Tuscaloosa. It all happened in the weekend. They was there on that Friday. Didn't know I was going home. Didn't pack a bag. I just, it was like a spur of the moment thing. So that Friday they came, that Saturday we was going back to Mississippi, And my best friend, she stays in Atlanta. She's a psychologist, She
Okay.
ended up coming down, and her and my aunt, they ended up finding me a place to get rehab treatment, mental
Gotcha.
health treatment. So it was partial hospitalization, meaning I stayed there from like 8 to 3 or something like that. Then I went home. It was every day,
Yeah.
8 to 3 every day, minus the weekends. And that's where the light bulb went off. Because when I first started there, I was like, I don't want to say nothing. I don't know y'all. Like, I'm an introvert. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and listen, but still crying, still like saying those negative thoughts in my head and everything. Like I said, it took about 4 months. So when I was discharged from that place, I was encouraging the other members of the groups. I was telling them
Wow.
it will get better. I'm telling, from a person that was like, I won't be able to get out of this. I feel my life ending. I was having the suicidal thoughts. I was, to be
Yeah.
honest, because we have to be honest with ourselves.
Right.
I was having the suicidal thoughts. It was a little bit close, like I had stuff in my hands, and my best friend was like, "No, don't, do it." And I was like, it was something in me saying me I wasn't gonna do it. But it's like that's the pain of depression.
Right.
It's but to come from there in this 3-4 months later to a person that telling other people in the group, y'all can do this, you can talk, you can speak up, and sometimes you're going to rock the boat, but in order to get yourself to be seen and heard and to free yourself, you're going to have to talk, and just having a different perspective on life, on things and everything. So got discharged from there, went back to the same job I was working, fine. I was good. I was happy. And like the rumors around the VA was like, "Oh, that girl, that's that girl that went crazy." I was like, and I kept saying to myself, they think it's crazy, but I call it delivered.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And you have to be tough to hear things like that, coming from other people, but you have to use your spirit to say, no, it was something different. Like the Lord was doing a work in me, and he had to do it that way in order for me to see it,
Right.
So ended up going back to my job. Then I ended up turning in my 2 weeks notice. So the Lord, during that time off, the Lord was like, okay, it's time to move on.
Okay.
And I was at Southern Miss, I got my degree in exercise science, but I always wanted to be in physical therapy,
Right.
So ended up turning my 2 weeks notice, jumped out on faith, moved to Memphis, applied for it's actually a physical therapist assistant program. Was not in it. Was not even.
Okay.
I didn't have a plan B. Then I just said, I'm going to Memphis and do the prerequisites I have to do, and whatever will be. I know the Lord has me.
Right.
Ended up getting accepted into the program. Got my license in physical therapist assistant. Worked with that. went back to the VA, not in Alabama, but in South Carolina, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like, but the thing is, like, you know, I was telling myself, Shavaya, you can do this, instead of the Lord guiding me. So I decided to go back to the VA, right? Depression hit again, because I was same dynamic, you know, by myself, no family around me, you know. The place that I was working at wasn't very organized, so I like organization, you know. So it kind of messed with my thought process, and like I said, depression hit me again. I had to come back home to Jackson, and like I said, depression hit me, and this time around, I didn't have the resources I had the first time. All right. So what I had to do was I had to go back to what I learned from the first time around, learning how to cope, learning, changing those thought process to from something negative to something positive, you know, exercising, you know, that's why exercise is a big thing in my life, you know, exercising, journaling, you know, going back to counseling just to get that, you know, to get that back, because sometimes you do lose it if you're not aware of it. So, you know, I did that, got myself back on track, started working as a physical therapist assistant then, you know, and you know, with that, with the Lord being my anchor, I was healed again. You know, I saw a different aspect of myself that, Shavaya, you don't have to go to the VA. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You know, you're already enough with the Lord, you know. So yeah, started physical therapy, doing that for a few years, about 6 years. Yeah. And with that, the Lord was like, it's time to go back to school, you know, because I've been through so much mentally. He was like, you're destined to be a counselor, you know.
Wow.
So applied to a master's program, you know, got in, and even during that time, like, you know, I was hit a couple of times, you know, with me and a single mom and having to juggle a baby and home and work and all at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for my village, you know. But I was able to do it with the Lord by my side, and got out of it. And I was just praying one day, and just asking, Lord, what do you want me to do? You know, what do you want me to do with my life? Like the life that you have given me, you know, because I kept getting hit. Like I ended up getting out of this relationship that was not very good for me. And then having to start back over during this time, and then like out of job and got terminated from the job. And then like, now I'm like, Lord, what did you want me to do? You know? And like the day I got terminated, you know, you have people in your ear. Hey, well, have you applied here? And have you applied here? And this and that and da da da. I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. You know, I think differently. I have to sit and talk to God about it, because evidently there's something He wants me to do. You know, so I sat and talked to Him, and like, you know, of course I was crying because I'm grieved. It's a grieving thing when you lose a job, if that's your comfort, you know.
And
So
most people don't realize it.
Yeah, that's something big that you lost, you know. And so I cried about it, and like I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do? You know, like He ended up giving me another job that I control my hours, not other people. It's not an 8 to 5, 9 to 5. You know, this is a time where I'd be able to choose how much time I need. You know. And like during that time, he even told me, Shavaya, you need to heal. You know, heal. Sit down and heal. Sit down and love on yourself. Sit down and figure out who you are as a person and who you are in Christ. You know, sit on those words and know that, you know, you are worth more than any man can give. Like you are worth more than what you think you're worth. You know, I had to sit in that, and I tell women that I train, or women that I I talk to, I said, you have to fall in love with yourself. You have to date yourself. You have to just know everything about you, because if you don't know you can't tell the person that you want to date how to treat you. You can't tell them how to love you if you don't know how to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time, I just filled my cup with everything that I enjoyed doing, tapped into my little kid mode and played with my son and just enjoying the moment, being present in the moment.
Right. Right.
And like around this time, that's when the pandemic hit. It was right before the pandemic hit. And he told me, Shavaya, I done blessed you with all these degrees. Now it's time to put them together and
it's time to use them.
So
Right.
Time to use them. Like, time to use them how I want you to use them, not how you want to use them, basically.
Yeah.
So so I have a master's in counseling, and I have a license in physical therapy assistant, and I'm a personal trainer, certified personal trainer. And basically, through my tests and through my trials and through like my healing and my deliverance, like now I'm at a place where I'm able to just inspire and encourage other women, other young girls, other teenage girls, like, love on the self-esteem and the confidence, and just knowing who you are as a person, and stand on that and be confident in it, no matter what everybody else is doing, no matter if this person or that person's securing the bag. You focus on you and your healing and see how far it takes you. So yeah, that's my testimony from almost beginning to end.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was definitely and still is, challenging. But what God does for me, he continues to remind me over and over and over again, Shavaya, I have you. Shavaya, you don't have anything to worry about. You're covered. Your child is covered. Because because you are, what God is saying, because you are my child, I'm going to take care of you. Don't worry about it. So just having all that imprinted in my heart and in my spirit, like I live by that every day. Even some days I get, of course we get weary,
Yeah.
but still there's a joy inside of you that never goes away,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah, that's my story.
Champions, I hope y'all enjoying this week's episode of the COE podcast. But we got to take a quick break to acknowledge our sponsors. Aspire Pure, a premium ionized alkaline 9.5 pH plus water. That's a mouthful right there. That has a proprietary UV and ozone treatment to give you the smoothest and purest taste with every bottle. When I say smooth, I mean smoother than even me. So check out their website, www.aspirapura.com, and use the code COE10 to get 10% off your order. That's Aspire Pura. So, Shavaya, thank you for sharing that powerful champion story. I've been seeing what you've been doing over the last year, and I've been inspired by your journey. And we're going to get a little bit more in depth into how you were able to take something that you enjoy doing, something that you studied, right, in order to kind of help you get out of that anxiety, that depression stage. But before we do that, I kind of want to talk about this just a little bit. A lot of times we don't realize how we ended up in that depressive state. We as a community, we don't talk about anxiety and depression a lot. We tend to run away from those type of conversations. So for you, as you initially, got into yourself and you ask God, like, what is going on? How did you start opening up to your friends in order to have those conversations? Because a lot of times, you know, sometimes the people that we trust the most, we have to be careful. Like you mentioned the story about going back to work and being labeled like, oh, that's the crazy girl. That's the girl that went crazy. We have to be careful. So how did you start that conversation with your friends about what was going on?
Yeah. Well, so the thing is with my friends, we've been friends for a long time. I don't have a big group of friends. It's a small circle, you know. So it was pretty easy for me to go to them and talk to them about what was going on with me. I think because even when I talked to them before the depression, you know, they're very understanding. It didn't even have to be about, you know, the not so good stuff. They're very understanding and gave advice, and they were just open to talking. So when I was hit with the depression and I came to them, of course, like I guess I needed someone to talk to, and they were just my go-to, you know. But I know in this day and age, some people, they find it difficult to talk to their friends because they don't know how the response would be. And I always say that you go to your bread and butter. You don't go to your hammer and nails. You know, so if you know people within your circle, if you know you have one friend that is open and you know, kind-hearted and willing to listen, you know, it'll be helpful to go to them and talk to them and see their responses, because you'll probably be more comfortable talking to them, because you know, if you know your friends, they won't say nothing to anyone else, or you know, and like they're just easy to talk to. You talk to them, because if you go to your hammer and nails and they tell you you need to snap out of it, man, you need to suck it up, man, you know, they ain't nothing. It's gonna make you feel worse than what you were before, you know. So it's just a matter of assessing your friends, you know, and see who you can talk to and how you can talk to them, you know, in order to get some help.
Gotcha. I love that, the bread and butter versus the hammer and nails. I've never heard of the hammer and nails before, but that is quite interesting because a lot of times, you know, I'm thinking back now to issues that I've had. My hammer and nails were not even friends; it was family. Because a lot of times we've been built to not really deal with so much as a family, to where it can be okay, well, whatever happens in our house stays in our house, but it's still some underlying issues that we have to get through to figure out the root cause of how now I'm 37, 38 years old and I'm having anxiety attacks because I never dealt with some of the root cause issues growing up. So yeah, that can definitely be tough. So your journey going through getting out of the depressive stage, you had your friends, you had your family, but also you had another F word that's right there that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, you actually had two. You had faith, but you know, outside of faith, you had fitness. So talking about fitness and how that helped you overcome and deal with anxiety and depression, kind of tell us about how that shaped for you in your life.
Yeah. Well, looking back, you know, I said in at USM, I majored in exercise science, and I guess that was God saying that it's gonna be that route. Like he put me in that place for a reason, you know.
Right.
And but I wasn't really serious about exercise then. I was not. Like, my goal was to be a physical therapist back then, but I got scared because you had to take chemistry for it. And I was like, nope, I will do something else, you know. But yeah, I think the seed was planted then, you know. And then like as I experienced depression and anxiety, you know, I guess it kind of just kicked in. It kicked in because I was, you know, even while I was in Tuscaloosa, I was exercising then because I always had a weight issue for myself. You know, my weight always cycled up and down, and you know, when it came to a point where my weight was too big, you know, because I have people saying way too big. I have people saying, "Oh, you getting fat. Oh, you got some." I'm like, okay, those are critical voices in your head, you know, because people saying that so much, it started to be imprinted in your head, you know. So like when I tend to get to a certain weight, and so I see myself being like, oh, I hear those voices, you getting fat, you need to work it out. I hit the gym every time.
Yeah.
Hit the gym every time. But I love to eat because I'm an emotional eater too.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that runs in families. Look, but yeah. So when depression hit, uh, it, like I said, it just kicked in, and honestly, during that time, my uncle, he made me get up, because when I first started therapy, like I said, I didn't want to do nothing. I just wanted to lay in bed the whole time, you know. And he told me, we gonna go running. We gonna go running. So walking, running, we gonna get up, you know. So he kind of helped me get out of that sinking thinking, you know, and got me up working out, exercising, and then the desire just came back, you know.
Yeah.
And like even with that, you know, when I started the whole challenge with depression, I had to get on medication, because if a depression is so severe, it feels like there's a 100-pound weight, a ton on you, you know, or a black cloud above you that you just can't get rid of, you know, and that causes you not to think straight. It causes you just to be like in a blah mode. And I struggled with that because for some reason with the African American society, you know, community and mental health, medicine is like, oh no, that means you're crazy, you know. But it took the group I was in at the time to tell me, Shavaya, take the medication. You will feel so much better, you know. So I started taking the medication, and the weight started lifting. I started feeling better. And then like the exercise just, you know, it just came in, you know, like, because when you think about it, exercise sends the endorphins throughout your body, the feel good hormones. And, you know, with the exercise, that's what I liked about it, because, okay, I'm working on my body and I'm getting those feel good hormones, you know. So if I can make this a consistent habit, I won't need the medication. Not to say medication is a bad thing, you know, but I would like to see if I can do this, you know, truly by myself and with God, you know. So as time progressed and I started working out, you know, I was like, oh, let's try without medication and see what happens, you know. So I started devotion and I started exercising every day, every day, every day, you know. And since then, I have not taken a pill. It's been years since I've taken a pill for. Amen.
Yes.
Amen. So that's why fitness and faith is so important to me, because with fitness, yes, you're working on your body, you're working on your temple. That's part of it, you know. And with the faith, it's like you working on your inside temple, like, you know, having faith that if you put in God's word in you, having that faith that everything's gonna be okay, you know, you'll start seeing things improving outside of you while you working on yourself, you know. So it goes, faith and fitness, it goes hand in hand, because like when I exercise and those weights start getting heavy, you know, I tap into God, Lord, give me strength to push this. Like, let me focus more to get this weight up, and it starts to lift. So it goes hand in hand. So that's how I got into it.
Awesome. Going back to something you said, dealing with the whole medication, the Black community, a lot of times we don't want to take the medication. You know, our people have a history of being test subjects when it comes down to medicine, right? But I think, you know, me being somebody that has suffered through anxiety, I think being able to go to your physician and talk to them and let them know what's going on, they can prescribe you the right medication. And my journey is similar to yours in a way of, when I started really getting into fitness, I got to a point to where I said, you know what? Let me just wean my own self off of my medication. Not talking to my doctor or anything like that. I'm gonna take myself off. And I started feeling a lot better. But, and this is the cycle that I found myself getting into. and I just kind of want to know if you see others that do this. But my cycle was, I ended up getting off my medication. I cut back on working out. And when I cut back on working out and I was not on my medication, I saw an increase in those anxiety attacks. Is that something that you see based on the different type of people that you've interacted with from that counseling standpoint, or the, physical therapy standpoint?
Yeah. So I've talked to a lot of people that said, like, they started taking the medication and they felt fine, and they felt that they had reached a point to where they didn't have to take anymore because I don't have that problem anymore. But it's everybody's different,
Right.
and everybody has their own journey and their own story. But I think that when you start seeing the signs beforehand, when you, like you said, you start being aware that, when I don't exercise as much, I feel the anxiety go up. It's always good to have a plan. Always good to have a plan. Always, to be proactive rather than reactive. So, like,
Right.
People that say that I got off of the medication because I felt better, and then like everything, the sky started falling in. I'm back right in the same position I was before. Sometimes they don't see this, they're not aware of the signs, or they don't want to accept the signs of it, and don't take the medication, and then having to start back at square one. So, but yeah, I do get a lot of people that says that I even went through that, thought that I was good, got off the medication, and then depression hit again. I'm like, man, okay, let's get back on this medication. And it's nothing bad. It's just a choice that you made, and you saw the result of that choice. So now, okay, so I had to get back on this medication for a little bit, and then make another choice if something else happens, or make a plan before that issue even happen again. Does it make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. But I have had a lot of people that say that I've taken medication, I got off of it because I don't like the way how it makes me feel, or it makes me feel like a zombie, or like I just feel like I didn't need it anymore. And I would encourage them, always talk to your doctor. If you're having these side effects or negative feelings, they can adjust it or give you a different type of medication. You never know. Instead of going food, I had people say, I went just cold turkey, just stop taking it all together. Don't wean yourself off of it. Just, and I just felt shocks and this and that. And I was like, yeah, we don't do that. But it's just a matter of, I think it's just a matter of educating. Like, if you decide to not take the medication, and of course, everybody's diagnosis is different. We're talking about depression and anxiety, but there are some other severe diagnoses that require different types of medication. But yeah, I like I said, always talk to your doctor before deciding to get off medication if it's something that severe, But like us, how we weaned ourselves out off of it, of course, we have the exercise to come in, and just just the feeling of how the exercise and the medication have that same feeling effect, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, as for us, like the exercises I go to, things like
and to your point of talk to your doctor, because one time, even with me, when I was on my medicine, I did feel sluggish for maybe the first month and a half, 2 months almost. I didn't really want to do anything. And it kind of felt like my anxiety got a little bit worse because I didn't want to do anything. So I had to go back to my doctor and explain, look, I know you said the first 2 weeks I was going to feel this way, but it's been longer than that. What else can we do? And they offset what that medicine was they were giving me with something else I can take it in the morning, and it gave me a lot more energy. So definitely talk to your doctors before you get off any type of medicine at all. We did a little bit different because of fitness and finding that fitness journey. But that's just my disclaimer. I am not a medical doctor, but that's just what happened to me.
Yeah.
60127 1633.
Take that.
Smoking Charlie's barbecue. Where you wanna eat?
So shifting gears, New Normal Wellness LLC. You are the founder of That's Your Baby. Tell us a little bit about New Normal Wellness LLC. What can we expect from you? What does that look like for you as a business owner?
Yeah, well, New Normal Wellness, like I said, it was birthed out of my testimony. Basically, like I said, the Lord, he took me through different journeys of going to school and getting the degrees to form New Normal Wellness. So basically, what we do is strive to help a person change holistically, because I feel like all that's connected, mental, spiritual, and physical. It's connected, So basically what we do, we just do a program that's specific to you, and me being my background is counseling. It's hard to explain because the Holy Spirit uses me every session, like for real.
Yeah.
So like the training, it does involve like a lot of talking, a lot of, okay, what are the barriers that are causing you not to reach your goals? Let's talk about them, and where are those barriers rooted from? Usually it's something dealing with something that had in their family that's unresolved. Usually, most of the time it does, or something that they have like a negative thought about that specific aspect of the program or anything like that. So what I do is talk about those barriers, and we make a goal. We make goals about how can we look at this barrier and make goals, make the baby steps to get out of that barrier, right? How can we make affirmations or change the way we're thinking, in order to break that barrier, so you can have a holistic approach to everything and have that barrier, kind of broken. So that's the gist of what I do. I put everything into one. Like, we talk about everything. Most of my clients come in. There are older population, like in between 50, and they have other issues going on in their body. It could be a posture issue. Everything is aligned in the body. Like if you have a foot issue, it could be something dealing with your posture, So like,
let me sit up real quick.
Yeah, look. So I do an assessment on them, and like, first I focus on function, want to be functional. I understand there is I guess a theme of wanting a snatched waist and all of that, but I focus on function. If you're able to function, if you're able to do the exercises correctly in the right form, then we'll move on to something else. But right now I focus on posture. I focus on like the barriers you're having, and also I focus on your own personal goals. Like, I always ask them, what is a personal goal that you want to achieve outside of physical therapy, of personal training, because
Gotcha.
Everything's a journey. And like, if I am working on improving myself holistically, I want you to do it too. So throughout our training sessions and everything, I always, so how are you coming along with that, that goal that you said you want to do? Like, have you made the baby steps of doing it? And if they say no, I always send them a challenge, to make a step towards that goal, So that's the gist of New Normal Wellness. Like I said, I love telling my testimony of, how I got through what I went through, putting all those things together in order for it to be used by God's children. So that's what we do.
Yeah. And man, like I was telling y'all earlier, like just watching what she's been doing on social media is definitely been inspiring. So I gotta ask this question because I see your workouts on social media. Are you only local right now, or do you have an avenue to where listeners or viewers that's, let's just say, 3 or 4 states away can kind of get in contact with you and say, Shavaya, I want to kind of be a part of your program? Is there any openings for that right now, or what are we looking like there?
Yeah. So I also do virtual. So I do virtual and in person. So if a person out of state wants to join New Normal Wellness, all they have to do is go to my website, newnormalwellnessllc.com, and they will schedule a consultation with me. And we'll do it, of course, we do it virtually, and I'll start them up on the program with me. So that's
Awesome.
how they can reach.
Awesome. So no matter where y'all are, y'all can definitely, have that holistic wellness, with Shavaya being that coach for you, that personal trainer to help you start to get on the right track. So that is awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So you also are doing a fundraiser because as you grow, you need more space, right? Tell us a little bit about that fundraiser.
Yeah, so yes, I am doing a fundraiser right now. Basically what the fundraiser is for is securing the location for New Normal Wellness, and also more equipment in order for us to function better. So there's many ways you can contribute. One way is going to newnormalwellnessllc.com. There is a link you can go to in order to make a donation. You can also, see me on Instagram, New Normal Wellness LLC, or Facebook, the same thing, New Normal Wellness LLC, and to make a donation. So yeah, prayerfully, I believe God. I have this crazy faith that God, God is going to supply, and I'm not worried about it. So I'm just doing, I'm just, working how I'm planted, you know, and
Yeah.
and just pray that, the Lord, of course he will provide, because I already done prayed about it. So, but yeah, that's what the fundraiser is for, securing the location and equipment.
Look, it is you threw a few words out there that I gotta speak to. Crazy faith and working where you're planted. I don't know if you listen to Pastor Mike Todd at all, but I just listened to his past sermon this past Sunday, and it's called Crazier Faith, because this is part 2. He did a sermon series a couple of years ago about crazy faith, but he was talking about we're now in bamboo season. To where what you currently have planted is going to have an unrealistic acceleration. So I'm believing, because you just spoke that right now, I'm believing with you that you're about to have an
Hey,
unrealistic acceleration in
come
this
on now.
season. You get what I'm saying? God is
Yeah.
definitely going to bless you in your goals. Um,
Amen.
my friend, we are coming towards the end of the show. And
Yeah.
before we do so, is there anything that you want to speak to that we didn't cover, that I didn't ask? Is there anything you want to cover?
Anything I want. I just want to just I guess bless the people with this encouragement that, mental wellness, physical wellness, all of it goes hand in hand. But the most important is mental wellness, like working
Mhm.
on your mental, and never think that it's something bad or something, faux pas to do. But it's all, if you can work on your mental wellness and, break those generational curses and generational
Yes.
habits, that has happened in your family, you will see your life change. It's a beautiful thing, and sometimes you have to go through that storm, go through
Hmm.
that storm to get to that rainbow. So just want to encourage our people to keep on working on themselves and striving and making a healthier, better person within themselves. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
Awesome. All right, Shavaya, how can people get in contact with you, and where can they find you at on social media?
Yeah, so I do, like I said, I have a website, so you can go to www.newnormalwellnessllc.com. That's one way of reaching me. My Instagram is New Normal Wellness LLC, and also you can reach me on Facebook, the same thing, New Normal Wellness LLC. So I'm looking forward to working with y'all, whomever decides to join my team. It'll be fun and life changing. So that is how you reach me. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, y'all. We come to the end of the show. I hope you have enjoyed Shavaya's champion story. I know I've been inspired. I hope that you are. And continue to tune in. Make sure you support her. Make sure you like and share what she's doing. Get in contact with her if you want to get that personal one-on-one consultation. Even if it's not for you, even if you know somebody else that needs that consultation, definitely get in contact with her. Christmas time is here, man. That can be, definitely a great Christmas gift, because a lot of times towards the end of the year, I've been told by my personal trainer, like, people fall off in taking care of themselves. We get so busy day in and day out with our lives, with running, with the holiday season, that we forget to take care of ourselves. Actually, we don't forget, we just neglect taking care of ourselves. So as the year get ready to come to a conclusion, reach out to my friend, support her, get the help that's needed. And I definitely know that you all will benefit from it. So that's our time for today. COE, champion over everything. Thank y'all.